Hello YouTubers, my name is Attila Mate from Blue Sky Photography, and today I would like to talk to you about a few tips. How is the best way to expose your images? I'm talking about portraits over here because I'm a portrait photographer, so that's why I will give portrait examples over here. Now, sometimes I see, on YouTube that people will say, oh, this is the best way to expose your images. I wouldn't say there is no best way to expose your images. It depends 100% on the situation. What situation are you into? What kind of effect you want to achieve with your portraits? Now, if you want a certain effect, you have to use different trick, or different tip. If you want to use another type of effect, you have to use a different trick. So let's see a little bit some very common portrait examples. The example, if you are outside and you want to have a kind of environmental portrait where the environment is also in the scene, not only the blown out background and not only the blurred background, you have also the environment in the scene. And then you want to add also sky in your images. Now here comes the most important tip or trick what you have to use. Now, if you want to have a nice sky, with nice clouds in it and a lot of details in the sky, you will have to meter on the sky, to expose on the sky. Now, if you meter on your subject, if you point your camera on your subject and you will take the metering from your subject, the sky will be blown out. And it is most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, it is much more difficult to recover the details from a blown out sky than to recover the details from shadows. So that's why I try, and I usually tend to underexpose my portraits a little bit, especially when there is a sky in the portrait. And I tell you a very good example. I was down there with a couple, and I was shooting in the front of a castle, and I wanted to introduce the castle in the shot, but also almost half of the shot was sky, so I had to expose on the sky to be able to get the most details out of the sky. Obviously, when you expose over there, your subjects will be underexposed. Now, you have two options over here. If you have a very good full frame camera, you underexpose kind of 1 stop, 1.5 stop, maybe 2 stops maximum, and then you can recover those shadows from the faces. Or the second possibility is, which one I like to use a lot, to add light on your subjects. So I will expose first on the sky, and then I will take my subjects and I will put flash on my subject, and I will balance up that with my flash. So I will add artificial light to the scene, because other than that, you can't really do that. If you don't have a very good camera which has great dynamic range, you can't really recover the shadows if they are very, very underexposed. Now, if you want a blown out sky, because some photographers, they like to have blown out sky completely, in my opinion, well, that's only my opinion, a good photographer must be able to expose and to shoot to have a nice sky. I don't think that anybody can point on the subject and hit the shutter, but you must know the tips and tricks the way around, and you must know how to get a great sky in your images and not fake skies. But if you want intentionally a blown out sky, then obviously you will have to expose on your subject, and the sky will be blown out by default, because the camera will expose for your subject, and obviously the sky is much brighter, so that will be blown out. Now, if you are in a studio environment, that is completely a different story, because then you have to expose obviously on your subject, because you don't really care about the background. The background is illuminated or not, it's up to you. But it is a controlled environment. If you are in a controlled environment, this is not an issue at all. But if you are outside, and if you want to have the example, the sun is behind your subject and the sun is hitting, towards the camera, you have to know what to do, not to blow out, and that situation is where you have to use flashes, HSS, high sync speed flashes, to overcome the sun, Now, like I said at the beginning, there are many, many situations, different situations, and in my opinion, each and every situation has its own difficulty, but if you exercise a lot, if you think a lot and you try to find out the way, you will get there. And I tell you, it is really, really important to be able to do this, because you will end up yourself, you will find yourself in a situation where you have to do it, and if you don't know how to do it, it will be a big problem. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. It was just a short little video because I wanted to share with you this tip, and I think it is really important, especially for portrait wedding photographers who work with people who want to do environmental portraits outside. It is really, really important to be able to do and to expose on the sky, and how to get the best exposure, I would say, to get the best details out of the sky. Now, if you want to add something to this video, feel free and leave a comment down below. I really like to hear your opinions, and I like very much to learn something, from others, because I'm just a human being and I can learn from you, you can learn from me. That's why is YouTube a great place, because we can learn from each other. So if you want to add something to this video, please feel free and leave a comment down below. I'm only a human being, I can learn from others as well. If you want to add something constructive, share with us, share with the community. That's the best way, to help the community, to help the new photographers to learn. And I hope that this video will be helpful to someone. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and hit the little bell button near the subscribe button to get notified when I upload another video. And other than that, I wish you a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.